Alright guys, it's William Jiaming. Welcome to Long Digital Art. So this is like 1000 tips of Procreate, and we're going to learn a little bit about Gaussian blur. Gaussian blur is one of the one of my favorite functionality of adjustments, and I use that all the time. And I just found a very cool usage, which is the usage when I recently learned about how to draw metal. And let me show you, it's amazing. Okay, so first we are at, let me just get one layer. And we can use, say for example, if you want to draw a coin, okay? So you got something like this and you hold it, okay? And by the way, I think coin should be color of like the, let me drag it brighter. So for example, you got this darkerish, coin sort of color, or silver sort of coin color. Doesn't really matter. Let me show you, okay? So you got some sort of shape and hold it, and of course you want it like a perfect shape. You can do something like this. It doesn't really matter, okay? And then you can fill that with specific color. And of course you can using the eraser and just erase some part of the irregularities. Right now let's just make it small, okay? I wanted to fine tune it a little bit. Okay, of course, you can save all this hassle by using a really narrow. Okay, let me show you. Okay, so if you don't want to do something like this, you can do something like steal the pen, but you just use less of this size. Okay, and you can make it something like this. Okay, and then you drop it. So it still has that sort of problem, but it will be very, very small. You won't be able to notice it. And let's go. So we can duplicate this, and then you can move this by drag it down a little bit. Okay, and right now it's like the exact same color. You don't want that. The coin should have a different color. So what I'm going to do is to hide this layer and make this a really dark color. Okay, if things are really dark, you can just click and drop, and then you unhide that. You got like two different, distinguished different shape. Okay, and once you got that very distinguished sort of shape, you can do something like this. So you can use the pen to connect the dots. Okay, once you connect the dots, you can then drop in more color. And by the way, be extremely careful. You might think that, hey, you can just drop the color here, it won't do. That's because you are essentially at this layer, so it's not closed. You can sort of cheat this by doing something like this. Doesn't really matter because it's beneath the layer. Doesn't really matter. But the outside, you should do something like this. Okay, just to make it a nice and clean connection. And then you can what is inside doesn't really matter. You can just cheese it by something like this. Of course, if you got a better method, do please leave in the comments. I'm a beginner myself, so I just share all the tips that I learned. And if you got a better way of doing this, that's amazing. Come on, share with us. Okay, and so once you do something like this, still it doesn't feel a little bit metallic. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to first let's look at the side here. Okay, the side is so monotone. Okay, so it won't have a the amazing effect. So what I'm going to do is to pick the color above, and I'm going to use first. If you don't want to break it, you can duplicate it and hide it. Okay, so it's just like a copy layer. And then you got this layer, and you can use alpha locked or using a clipping mask. Doesn't really matter. If you use alpha lock, you can just lock it and paint on the exact same layer. But if you use the clipping mask, okay, and you are essentially clipping what is above. Okay, so let me show you. So you add a layer and you clipping mask, and let me show you. Yeah, here clipping mask, and then you can mask this as you know how to say that. So you this layer is draw on the clipping mask. So if you do something like this, you won't get outside of this clipping mask. Okay, and clipping mask is a separate layer. It's not draw on the original one. Since it's a very simple one, I'm going to use the alpha lock for simple project, and then I'm going to unhide this so I can have a better view of what is going on. And I'm going to use a color picker tool and select this alpha mask layer. And what I'm going to do is to make this brush a little bit wider so I can get something like this, okay? And of course, it doesn't really matter. You can like make it wider or make it not wider. It doesn't really matter because, you know, you can make it like a really wide, really not wide, narrow, okay? Thin one, doesn't really matter, okay? And once you got all this color, and then you can adjust the color a little bit. So in order to get this like gradual changes, grading effects, you can just click here, and remember you choose the original color. Okay, the color here. You want to like fine tune a little bit, maybe like drag it up a little bit. Okay, so it's more brighter, and then you can do something like this. In between, you can do something like this. Okay, and do something like this. So you got a very bright color in between, okay? Then here comes to the moment of magic. And the magic is, remember to choose this layer, and it's a clipping mask. So I think I already shared with you how to not using Gaussian blur, but not outside of this object. It's by clipping it, or by using a clipping mask, or by alpha lock. Okay, I already alpha lock it, so it doesn't really matter. So I can choose the adjustment and go to the Gaussian blur and just blur it. Okay, as you blur, you can see amazing things happening, right? So you got this amazing like a transition gradient sort of effect. That really depends on the material that you want to do, okay? So if you want like a really glossy, you maybe something like this. A really like a vague sort of thing, you maybe some hint, you maybe something like this. Doesn't really matter, just to fine tune it until you find the best number. And if you think this is still something missing, doesn't really matter, because you can use the exact same method to get the above layer adjusted. Okay, so the above layer is here, right? You can use the this time I'm going to demonstrate how to use the clipping mask. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to add that, and hopefully I can add a clipping mask. So I will not draw outside of this layer. Okay, I'm going to use a different color, just a drastic color, just to show you how it's done. Okay, so it's clipping mask, and by the way, it's in this layer, so I can delete it. Okay, and let's do that again. So clipping mask. I just share all these tips that I learned recently. Is very interesting. And then you can just color pick any color here. So for example, you want to like get the bright color. You remember this is using alpha lock. Okay, this is using the clipping mask. So let's get somewhere here. Okay, I believe it's like not so wide. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to do that as a demonstration that's how versatile this technology is. So you can do something like this. Because the bright point, the reflection should be a little bit consistent with the side, okay? Because the light source approximately come from the same. Of course, you can do something like this: click and hold, and get like a really, you know, really straight line. Okay, you can do a lot, something like this, okay, something like this. Okay, so yeah, just to make it straight. And then moment of truth, I believe you already know that. You select this layer, adjustment, and Gaussian blur. And let's blur it out. Okay, looks pretty nice. Yeah, you can like add the strength to make it like a really blurred feeling. That really depends, as I said multiple times. And of course, you can you can adjust the the multiplier, darker, normal, light, something like that, or color dodge, or screen. Okay, that can just choose the one that can have like drastic result. So if I choose add, that would be like a really high number color, so it could like will be more reflective. So if you don't want to be too drastic, you can just use like a color dodge, something like that, and decrease the opacity, something like that, or add but decrease the opacity. Just adjust that to the number that you think you are comfortable with, and then once you are finished with that, then you can just to group everything. Okay, group everything together, and then you can duplicate this, and then you can move the whole group and make yeah, all sort of things that you want. Okay, so that's a quick tip of how to make how to use the Gaussian blur to make a metal effect. Okay, thanks. If you think my video is helpful, do please give me a thumb up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I share all sort of digital art and play around with a lot of things. So thanks for your time. Bye.